KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala will deliver his State of the Province address at the Royal Showgrounds in Pietermaritzburg today. His address is expected to set the tone for the provincial budget. He's also expected to reflect on challenges faced by the province, including job losses as a result of last year's July unrest and the adverse effects of COVID-19. For more on this, we now bring in our colleague Vusi Khumalo, who is watching events there. Vusi, what is the sense of expectation to this State of the Province address?
Yes, indeed. We are here at the Royal Showgrounds in Pietermaritzburg. Well, this has been the case every time on this particular day that we'll be here during this time of the year. Let me step out so that we can see the arrival of some of the big shots. This is the IFP President Vusi Khumalo, who is currently engaging with the media, and also we'll try and see if we can try to get a word from him. Let us ask our camera person Undabe just to get.
And we are glad that the KwaZulu-Natal legislature has invited him as His Majesty, because as the IFP we believe the Zulu nation already have a king. It is unfortunate that the provincial legislature recognizes him halfway. Because if you invite the king as His Majesty and then you decide not to allow him to speak and silence him, it shows a contradiction. And well, it remains to the ANC. What we expect from the Premier, we are expecting the Premier, first of all, to talk about the real status of KwaZulu-Natal, where unemployment is very serious. Young people are unemployed. He must come out with a clear plan how to turn things around to deal with unemployment. Secondly, he must talk about the devastation of COVID-19 together with the July looting riots, how they affected the economy, what is the plan to revive the economy from the devastation of the July riots as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. The Premier must also give a feedback what he committed in 2020 and 2021 SOPA, how much progress has been done as a way forward, because he keeps on repeating one and the same thing or opening a new chapter altogether without responding to what he committed last year and the previous year, will not be of any great help to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. And the last thing, the Premier must tell us, in terms of all people implicated on corruption, PPE scandals, how many have been arrested. We do not want to hear that there are disciplinary processes that are underway. We want to hear of arrest. We want to hear how many people have been attended in terms of assets for feature unit, so that a clear message is sent. You're going to be arrested, and all that you got in an irregular way will be taken away from you. If the Premier is not going to tell us about that, the people of KwaZulu-Natal will know it is still going to be as normal as usual. Corruption is going to thrive with no swift action to bring it to an end. Lastly, the Premier must take us on board in terms of the money that was allocated to various departments, especially on infrastructure. How much money was used, how much money was not used and had to go back to National Treasury, because if we fail to spend money while there is a great unemployment in our province and as a country, we are failing the people of KwaZulu-Natal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, there's the Vusi Khumalo, the president of the IFP, calling a harsh stance on corruption, asking the government of KwaZulu-Natal, led by Sihle Zikalala, to also ensure that those involved in corruption are being arrested and also face the wrath of the law. I mean, the Premier of the Prince Sihle Zikalala is about to make his much anticipated entrance here at the Royal Showground as he is about to deliver the state of the province address, as did Mr. Hlabisa allude to the fact that he's waiting a number of things, solutions about the COVID-19 and solutions about the corruption that is being ravaging a number of government administrations in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and also the issue of the king, which is also one of the topical points in KwaZulu-Natal, which is also so noted a chair that is normally reserved for him. We know that all the houses of the royal households have been invited here, so we are also waiting to see if the king himself, King Misuzulu KwaZulu-Natal, will be here. But all the houses belonging to the AmaZulu royal family have been invited here. We have also seen a number of MECs coming in here. We've seen Kwazi Msheng, who is the MEC for education in KwaZulu-Natal, also making his entrance, and also a number of mayors who are also eagerly awaiting to hear the SOPA of KwaZulu-Natal. Let me also perhaps step out of the shot so that Vusi Khumalo can show you the number of people who are making their entrance here. We've also seen the police, the SA band, making their or conducting their ceremonial activities here at the Royal Showgrounds as we await a number of dignitaries coming in here to hear the much anticipated speech by the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal at the backdrop of the budget that was presented by the Finance Minister Kotongwana yesterday. We usually hear that the education as well as the health sectors normally get the biggest share of the lion's share in terms of the budget. That's what we can tell you so far here, that because the King Misuzulu hasn't been officially been put on the throne, but he has been invited there. That's been a topical issue here around KwaZulu-Natal. There's been, for the first time, there will be no salutations or royal salute given to him. That's what we've been told earlier on, but there are a number of people who are saying that King Misuzulu will be given his much deserved royal salute. But the Speaker of the Legislature, Ntombeko Boys, did say earlier in the week that there will be no royal salute given to Misuzulu because there hasn't been put officially on his throne. That's what we can tell you so far as we await the arrival of the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, and his delegation of the cabinet members of the legislature of KwaZulu-Natal. Well, that has been the case here at the Royal Showground every year since the governing party took over the reins from the IFP in 2004. So it has been held here since they also moved the capital city from Ulundi to here in Pietermaritzburg. That's what we can tell you so far here at the moment. It's back to you in the studio.